Hey everyone, it's Vinegar Syndrome time once again. This time it is the August package, plus the VSAs and partner label stuff that I used my 50% off code to get as well. But this was a pretty chunky month, so there's going to be quite a bit of things in here. So yeah, let's get started. Now, of course, you know, did I watch all of the movies from the July package yet? No, did not. Between that and the Severin I unboxed, and the Criterion sale stuff I still haven't watched, and yeah, it's just a constant pile of movies, and I could not be happier, because it keeps me from getting bored. And then there's days where I just don't watch the movies, because I've got stuff to watch on YouTube, or streaming services, or I just want to listen to a record, or read a Fangoria issue or something, so, you know. But let's see what this is all about. Ugh. And look at that. That's in the bubble wrap there. Alright, looks like it's two different bubble wrap pouches. So let's take these out and do the normal unboxing stuff, shall we? And that's why you're here, I think. I don't know. So, first off, we have Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. This seems to be a movie about these rather ribald women who seduce people, kill them, and then cook them into meat pies, so a little bit of Sweeney Todd action going on there. Don't know much about this movie, and I believe it's early 90s. I don't think it's shot... Well, Vinegar Syndrome doesn't do anything that's shot on video, but it's shot on 35, okay. But yeah, it's when I saw this, it was like, I've never heard of this movie, but it sounds like it's probably pretty funny. I believe it's a horror comedy, and if you can see some of the artwork there, I really like the artwork that they went with on the slip there. So let's see. Yeah, it's about a woman named Auntie Lee and her voluptuous nieces, as it says on the back. And they make these meat pies. So yeah, well, I guess also a little bit of Motel Hell there too. Yeah. But yeah, we got Michael Berryman, who I've met. He was a super nice guy. He gave me marriage advice when I met him. Yeah, so let's see. We have an interview with Michael Berryman as one of the special features, an interview with the makeup effects artist, an interview with one of the other actors, an interview actually with two of the other actors, and then there's a recipe for meat pies by the Homicidal Homemaker, who she has a YouTube channel, I believe, and she does nice horror-themed food and beverage concoctions, and I thought that's a really cool extra for this. It's like, yeah, that's funny. Will I ever make a meat pie? No, I'm like the world's pickiest eater. But it should still be interesting to see. So when they announced this, I had never heard of this movie, so I was looking forward to it because it seems like it was up my alley, like one of these early '90s horror comedies that are a little chintzy, maybe not quite Trauma-esque and maybe not quite Full Moon-esque, but along those lines. So, yeah, I was looking forward to that. This was one of the partner label releases that I picked up. This is a shot-on-video movie, and this is Psycho Sisters. So, if you remember, I forget if it was last month that I got it. It was probably last month, but if not, it was during the halfway to Black Friday unboxing sale. But there was a documentary about the Wave company that made basically like made-to-order horror-themed fetish videos. And in that documentary, they covered this movie, which is one of the few Wave movies that is an actual feature-length movie. It's still shot on video, it's still super cheap, it's still like a micro-nothing budget movie, but it's still like a feature-length movie of like 80-something minutes and everything, and it is shot on video. So that's the front of the cover there, and there's the back. I do know there was a remake of this movie that was shot on film. I believe it was shot on 16, so that's also a bit odd. And then this cover, I believe, is the cover if you were to try to buy this on DVD directly from the Wave site, because I did browse through their site to see what they had after I watched the documentary, and they have many very still overpriced DVDs of some of their highlighted fetish videos. But let's see. Yeah, it says it's 90 minutes, so, and it was shot and edited on video, so it says the transfer quality is confined by the limitations of the format. And if you have ever bought a shot-on-video movie on Blu-ray or even like the Intervision DVDs, you know what that means. But let's see, it's a new transfer from the SVHS Edit Master, okay. I guess Edit Master. Is that kind of like the shot-on-video version of an interpositive? I don't know. Um, let's see. There is the original Psycho Sisters demo video. I guess they started off as a short fetish video first. There is a vintage afterword by the director from 1995, which I guess they kind of put that at the end of the VHS if you rented or bought it, much like Charles Band would do on all those Full Moon VHSs. Let's see. Waves Splatter Chatter video magazine featuring footage and interviews from the 1995 theatrical premiere. I saw there's some clips of that, and it's basically just they're premiering it in just a college auditorium, kind of like when I was getting my undergrad in film studies, the classroom that we'd view movies in for most of the movie classes. It just had a drop-down projection board, and there was like they didn't have a Blu-ray at the time, but they had a DVD and VHS system that you could hook it up and it would just go through the projector, and there were like these long tables that you'd sit at, but they'd still have like regular like chairs at them. Yeah, that was fun. Horseman. Shout out to anyone who went to Rhode Island College and is taking classes in Horseman. Yeah, it's a similar like classroom setup to that the premiere was at. Psycho Sisters at Chiller, vintage interviews from the 1995 Chiller Theater Expo, which seemed like it was kind of like a tape swap meet type thing. Maybe like Fangoria Fear Fest or Horror Hound or whatever it is. One of those conventions, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. The Day the Shopping Carts Came to Life, an early short film by the same director, and then Lost Child, another early short film by the same director. Also a video teaser trailer, so decent amount of extras for this shot-on-video micro-budget movie. But I figured, you know, let's check this out. I like some of this direct-to-video schlock. My local Alamo, occasionally, they haven't done it since COVID, so it's been over like a year and a half now, but they usually had like almost every one Friday night a month, actually, at like a 10 o'clock showing, they'd have a video vortex, and it'd just be like a $1 ticket screening to a shot-on-video movie. And I saw some great stuff. Blood Lake, which is super funny. Killing Spree by Tim Ritter, which was great, and I met the star of Asbestos Felt. So some other stuff like Kickboxer from Hell, and some other cheesier, some mixtape stuff. I hope they bring that back soon, now that, I mean, COVID is spiking up again, unfortunately, but, you know, hoping they bring that back, though. That was a super fun thing to do on late Friday nights. Oh, this is another partner label thing, and this just looked up my alley as well. Commando Ninja. So this is kind of like a Kung Fury or a... I guess not so much Turbo Kid, a little bit more exaggerated than Turbo Kid, despite how exaggerated Turbo Kid is. But it's kind of like that. Obviously, it's playing on, obviously, the Sylvester Stallone film, Commando, I'm fucking idiot, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, Commando, as well as, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of those 1980s beefy action movie stuff, as well as the ninja stuff that, like, Canon Films would put out, like American Ninja and stuff. But is this even feature length? No, is it? It doesn't actually have the running time on here. I don't think it's actually quite feature length. There is one of the only special feature on here seems to be the making of the movie, which is an hour long. But it's like one of those. It's a heightened parody / homage in the vein of Kung Fury and stuff like that, where it's like just jacks up the 80s to its most hyperbolic extreme. Some of the stuff from the trailer, which is super funny, it looks like it's almost a shot-for-shot recreation of the famous scene in Commando where Schwarzenegger is just blowing people apart in that mansion's like greenery. But I just saw this and I'm like, this is super funny, so I was gonna take a look at this because that is up my alley as far as like nostalgia humor stuff. They were supposed to do a feature-length theatrical version of Kung Fury starring Michael Fassbender, but I think that stalled. And then this is also a partner label, but there wasn't a discount for it because all they did was add a new slipcover to it, but it was a partner label from before. But this is Luz, L-U-Z, and it is a modern film. I believe it's from 2018, if I'm not mistaken. See if there's the year on the back of this. Not seeing it. Oh, wait, it's tiny here. Yeah, 2018. But it's basically a modern film that is a throwback to, like, 70s or 80s European possession movies. Think, like, Enigma by Fulci, or anything along those lines. And I read the synopsis, and I saw a little bit of the trailer, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds like something I would like, so I bit the bullet and went and got it. So, plus slipcover's cool, so why not? I'm already getting stuff from a subscription anyway, so. And then we get to the second, I believe I actually said Stallone was in Commando. Maybe in the Last Action Hero universe, where he's also the star of Terminator 2, but. And this is the VSA for this month. This is Whatever It Takes, which stars Don the Dragon Wilson, Fred Williamson, and yes, I'm aware of the accusations against him from when he was filming the movie VFW, so that's a little wonky, because I used to enjoy seeing him in the movies. VSW, by the way, I did not like that movie. It seemed like it should have been up my alley. It had a super great cast, as far as everyone else besides Fred Williamson, and had a great Carpenter-esque setup, and I just didn't like the execution of it. But anyway, so Fred Williamson, Don the Dragon Wilson, but probably the reason I pulled the trigger on this is because of Mr. Andrew Dice Clay, star of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. So, funny thing, so I grew up in Rhode Island, a state that is 90% Italian people, and they all, when I was growing up at least, and so we're talking 80s and 90s here, they all seemed to love Andrew Dice Clay, and I think they loved him because, oh, this is odd, just pulling this out here, usually they put the poster inside of the case, and this time it was outside of the case, and that made it super hard to get it out of the special VSA slipcover. Just heads up in case you're looking at that. And this is just the cover here. But, so everyone in Rhode Island seemed to love Andrew Dice Clay because he basically played this, stereotypical crude Italian, despite the fact, and most people knew this even at the time, it wasn't secret, but Andrew Dice Clay in real life is Jewish, so you have this Jewish comedian who is pretending to be the most Guido Italian guy possible. So some of his humor is a little, bullying and doesn't quite hold up to today's standards, but some of that stuff, when I was a really young kid when I was kind of exposed to his stand-up, so I'm talking 7, 8 years old, so the fact that he was just swearing a mile a minute, that was enough to make me laugh. It was the same reason why I laughed at Joe Pesci in Goodfellas before I was old enough to appreciate that actual movie for its quality. But there's still a little bit of instilled, Italian Rhode Island part of me that says oh, I like Andrew Dice Clay, despite the fact that I'm kind of just agnostic on the guy. I do like Ford Fairlane though. I love Wayne Newton as the villain, where he's just trying to eat up this CD and he's bleeding from the mouth at the end. That's great. Is that on Blu-ray somewhere for a special edition? Got to look that up. Anyway. So, this is a typical, this is from 1998. This is a late 90s action movie. I don't actually expect it to be any good, but sometimes cheesy direct-to-video action movies. I find that bad action movies tend to have a better shot of being entertaining than almost any other bad movie of any other genre. Because bad horror movies can be so bad it's good or laughable, or they can just be a pain to watch. Same with science fiction, same with any other genre really. But action movies, it seems like they have a decenter, that's a word, a decenter chance, or a better chance of being entertaining even if they're bad. Just a thing about that. That's just my opinion. If you feel differently, leave a comment, tell me why, I don't know. But anyway, so this is restored from the 35mm camera negative. Let's see, there's a brand new interview with Don the Dragon Wilson, a brand new interview with Fred Williamson. I wonder if that was filmed before or after the whole kerfuffle. And it's limited to 5,000, though this was the first time with the VSA that Vinegar Syndrome said that they may release it later as a regular edition. They've never said that before for a VSA, so who knows? And, some of the other movies that have come out on VSA, like Action USA, they've later gotten re-releases through MVD Rewind, so, Rad, that wasn't a VSA, but that also got a MVD. Was that MVD? I think it was MVD. There was also a Mondo cover, or maybe it was Kino. Fuck it, I don't know. You're not coming here for information, right? I hope not. I just got off of work, so my mind is still scrambled. Okay, so this is the 4K release of the month, Terminal Island. And this is the back of the slipcase there. Did I show the back of Whatever It Takes, by the way? there it is. That looks like probably what the VHS cover was. So Terminal Island, I've never heard of this movie before either. I've never heard of most of these movies by the time I buy them. But this seems to be a mix between like a Running Man type scenario and a women in prison movie. Not Running Man, what am I talking about? No Escape. Like, you know, a bunch of prisoners kept on an island, but it's also a little bit of women in prison-y. This movie's from 1973, and it's restored in 4K from the original 35mm camera negative. And since I haven't seen this movie, I am really curious as to why Vinegar Syndrome felt that this movie was deserving of a 4K UHD release. Sometimes you can kind of understand it. Like, I understand Rad, because that was a movie that was never even on DVD. It just was on VHS for the whole time, so no one had ever seen it in a really clear form. And since, I mean, not even maybe in its original theatrical release. And, you know, I understand Beastmaster, because that's a cult hit. Six Stream Samurai, I kind of get, but you know, why is this? Is this a visually striking film? Don't know, but I'm interested in seeing it. But, you know, women in prison movies, not normally my thing. People trapped on an island? Yeah, I kind of like some of that stuff. So we'll see. But what do we got for extras? We got a brand new interview with the co-writer and director, brand new interview with the lead actress, brand new featurette featuring one of the actors and one of the actresses, a critical featurette with a film historian, and a film journalist, which is about the work of the director, or co-writer-director, Stephanie Rothman, and a stills gallery and a theatrical trailer. So I'm interested to check this out, simply because it's one of those things I probably would not have bought it if I didn't have the subscription, but it came with the subscription, so, you know, I want to say why this was 4K worthy. I'm very curious about that, and maybe it's an unsung masterpiece, who knows. And then we get the trauma movie of the bunch, Girls School Screamers, or is it girl, no, yeah, it's girl plural apostrophe, so plural girl possessive. Girls School Screamers. I've been getting that title mixed up for a while. And then the back is The Finishing School to Finish Them Off. So this is a trauma movie. Vinegar Syndrome has the licensing rights to, I think, every trauma movie that was not produced in-house by Troma, so any of their acquisitions. Which makes me wonder when we'll finally get a Cannibal the Musical special edition from Vinegar Syndrome. Being my favorite Tromeo movie that is not Tromeo and Juliet. Oh, and we also get this cover as well on the actual Blu-ray. So I've heard mixed things about this movie, so we'll see how this goes. So this was restored in 2K from the 35mm original camera negative, and anyone who has bought a Blu-ray or back in the day a DVD from Troma knows that the transfers on Troma's in-house discs are not very good. In fact, it's funny, Troma just put out a Night Beast Blu-ray that is a huge step down in quality from the Vinegar Syndrome Night Beast Blu-ray, despite the fact that the Vinegar Syndrome Night Beast Blu-ray is still very much in print. I mean, the Troma Direct one is cheaper, it just doesn't look as good. But anyway, so the extras on here, there is an extended making-of documentary that has interviews from the writer, director, producer, the editor, assistant director, the second assistant camera, second assistant director, then one of the actors, and the sound designer. There's a commentary track by the writer, director, producer, and a commentary track with the editor, assistant director, and the second assistant camera, second assistant director, and that's it. But, I mean, an extended making-of featurette. Those are some of my favorite extras, because they combine everything you like about the just general interviews, but they edit them together into a cohesive, entertaining, you know, usually 20 minutes or something. So kind of looking forward to that. Because I've heard mixed things, my expectations are tempered, but, you know, a cheesy trauma horror movie that takes place in a girls' school. It's probably decent. And then the weirdest movie to come out this month is the Norman Mailer directed film based on a book that he wrote very quickly to fulfill a contract, Tough Guys Don't Dance. I love that they made the slipcover look like an old pulp novel, So you got like the Canon group like top there, and then the back has like quotations and the author/director photo. So I do like that they went with that. And even I didn't know this was happening, but even the side where the book would be looks like oxygen damaged, weathered pages, and then we have the normal spine there. So this is I believe it's a neo-noir that takes place in New England around the Cape Cod area, so I'm familiar with that. And the movie is mostly famous because of a really bad line delivery of like, "Oh man, oh no," from Ryan O'Neal. So I'm thinking this might be a so bad it's good movie, and that's why it's fallen into Vinegar Syndrome's hands. But the music is by Angelo Badalamenti of David Lynch movies and Twin Peaks fame. And it's got a good cast. I mean, you got Wings Hauser, you got Lawrence Tierney, you got Isabella Rossellini, another vet from David Lynch there in Blue Velvet. So, yeah, but it's a canon movie. It's going Globus, all right. So, let's see. This is restored in 2K from the 35mm interpositive. It's got a brand new interview with Wings Hauser. So they couldn't lock him down for an interview on Champagne and Bullets, but he sat down for Tough Guys Don't Dance. They got an interview with the cinematographer, an interview with Norman Mailer's son, an interview with an archivist and biographer of Norman Mailer, and there's an archival featurette as well as a theatrical trailer. So this isn't the type of movie I would normally expect Vinegar Syndrome to come out with, and that intrigues me. You know, you got a well-respected novelist, maybe slightly less respected as a filmmaker, especially with this movie. I think this was I mean, not that the Razzies are anything, but I think this was a multiple Razzie nominee. And, you know, and a decent cast, and, you know, a great composer. And, you know, what went wrong? Is this like a Brian De Palma Bonfire of the Vanities monstrosity, or what happened here? So, there you have it. So, there were, in this total, there were 4 actual releases for the month. So, the 4 that were covered by the subscription: Terminal Island, Auntie Lee's Meat Pies, Tough Guys Don't Dance, and Girl School Screamers. And then the 4 that I got for that are either VSA or partner label. So, Whatever It Takes, Luz, Commando Ninja, and Psycho Sisters. And that's August. So we'll see. The September titles will be announced on September 1st, and we'll see what we get there. And that'll then follow October, and then we'll get November with the Black Friday stuff. And then there's nothing released in December. That's regular Vinegar Syndrome. It's just going to be another partner label month. I think if I'm a halfway subscriber, my discount subscription code will still work for December, but I don't know. But otherwise, you're just looking for 3 more months of subscription-y goodness. And I still have a veritable fuckload of movies to continue watching. So, if you want to see what I think about these movies after I watch them, as I gradually make my way through the pile, you can follow me on Letterboxd. My name on there is Leninhawk. You can also follow me on Twitter for that, and then also various politics and memes or whatever at my Twitter, which is @DavidLeninhawk. And of course, like, subscribe, share, you know, hit the notification thing for all that good stuff. You know, I recently tried some ghost pepper chicken fries. I recently threw in my old Rambo 3 DVD to see if I was having the Mandela effect, or if it actually said about something about the brave Mujahideen fighters. And I also unboxed my Nuke the Mid-Year Severin order, so that's in there. And I've already watched Blood for Dracula out of that so far. So, thanks everybody, and y'all have a good one.